how you doing? Welcome back to Headbangers Ball. We're still kissing with Gene, Eric, Paul and Bruce. And we're going to talk a little bit now about the lyrics on Revenge. Now, they deal in the main with sex. And
well, partially.
I was just wondering,
partially.
Well, we'll talk about the other ones in a moment, but I just wondered, have you found new ways of dealing with a tried and tested subject?
Well, if you're creative, you can find new ways. I think if you care, you'll find new ways to defy gravity.
That's a good answer. There's also a very romantic ballad on the album, Every Time I Look at You, which was written by Paul and Bob Ezrin. Now that seems to me as showing a very romantic approach. Was that like a more personal song for you?
Well, when you get them with the ballad, then you get them in bed. Give them that and they go, oh, and then you get the other things going. You know, it's nice to be able to write a ballad as long as the ballad isn't one of those mushy, wimpy, funeral dirge-like power pop ballads that some bands do. Some bands, who will remain nameless, take these like up-tempo songs about screwing in the back of the car and they slow it down to half-tempo and then sing about a girl who just left them. You know, and it's sappy stuff. I mean, Every Time I Look at You is a song that was written on an acoustic guitar. It's much closer, I think, to something like Wild Horses, like a Stones kind of thing, than it is to some of that pap that you hear passed off as ballads. I mean, anything can be a ballad now. I'd rather hear ballads like As Tears Go By, you know, the Stones kind of stuff, or Zeppelin ballads. That's a little cooler than that mush that you hear sometimes.
Now, Gene, there's a couple of songs on the album that I felt had a kind of religious imagery, Unholy
but
and
you know,
Thou Shalt Not.
Oh boy.
They're obviously from two very different perspectives. What was your inspiration for those songs?
Archbishop Simmons.
Archbunker Simmons.
Every couple of years, you know, there's got to be a church enemies list. Every couple of years they put me on top. When we first started touring, I was just some kid out of New York City, was glad to be on stage wearing makeup and doing crazy things. And all of a sudden we played Canada, and there's a newspaper that came out that said, Gene Simmons is the devil. Going, oh great, just what I need. And so then all of a sudden in the South of America, people started walking off big burning crosses and pointing to me. And I'd say,
it only
it's
was
not
Gene.
me.
It wasn't Kiss. It had nothing to do with the whole
nothing
band.
to do. No,
it wasn't. They weren't doing this about Kiss. It was all.
It was all.
Yeah.
It was all.
Archbishop Simmons.
So I'm here to tell you that some of these songs are not necessarily religious. They're just trying to point out some points. Unholy makes the point that guys with horns on their heads and devils and all that stuff, I don't believe in that crap. The truth is that the things that we do to each other in the name of love
In the name of love.
are far worse than any devil, than any hell that anybody could create. Absolutely. There's a line in the song that says, you send your children to war to serve bastards and whores. There's no worse hell than that. So unholy is really just a part of all of us. And Thou Shalt Not, this other song you're talking about, is just basically
Island of Lost Souls.
Island of Lost Souls. Thank you. Paul Stanley, Charles Lawton.
Thou shalt
not.
Flesh.
Flesh.
Thou shalt not eat flesh, for are we not men? Are we not men?
You see, if you rent that movie, those are the lines from the movie. What is the law? Charles Lawton.
The law is we shall not eat, we shall not drink blood, for are we not men?
Are we not men? So anyway, Thou Shalt Not, it's explained very simply by a man with a collar walks over and says, kindly reconsider the sins of your past. I said, mister, you can kindly kiss my ass. It's a nice way of saying, leave me alone, let me live my life the way I want to.
Cool. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Yes. We're going to talk some more, but right now we're going to see some more music from Kiss.